Hey guys, about to start Clutch versus Echo Fox VOD review. For Clutch, I think for this game, especially when you guys see the end of the draft, you guys will probably agree a lot with what some people have been saying. They are budget G2 in terms of how aggressive they can be and also how much flex picks they pick. And for Echo Fox, I don't even know what to call Echo Fox. Echo Fox has some strong players in Phoenix and solid players in Apollo, Hakuo, and Solo. And Rush was a really big toss-up that was very up and down. So yeah, Echo Fox identity is really hard to nail down, but they're still 4-7 in the league, pretty respectable. It's just I don't really know what to call them as a team. But without further ado, let's actually start the VOD review. Zoe's Thresh Nocturne ban looks like a lot of just targeted bans towards what Echo Fox has been good at. Joey has been a really good blind pick for Phoenix. I mean, Hakuo obviously his Thresh. Nocturne just a solid pick in general. Echo Fox banning out some of the Clutch's flex picks and Jace and Silas. Sejuban is more so just of a general good ban, it feels like. So Clutch first picks Cassio. I think Clutch is one of the only teams that can really first pick Cassio and send it 3 lanes in Huni, Demonte, and Piglet, so their Cassio prio is going to be much higher than other teams. Echo Fox replaying with Jarvan Galio. Jarvan Galio has been the new Camille Galio. Now the Galio goes support and Jarvan goes jungle more so than top lane. And it's a very good combo in terms of engaging a team fight and having really good follow-up into it. And also Galio is very good in terms of being melee champion that can help you with push and bot lane, so he's very unique in that sense. Clutch replaying with Alistar, probably the best support in the meta right now, so really good. And Irelia, another flex pick that can go all 3 lanes. So Clutch have double flex picks and a really strong pick, so their draft is very flexible and it can go anywhere, and it makes it really hard to draft against Clutch in this kind of situation. So for Echo Fox, they finished up with Israel on their first round. Israel just a solid AD right now, probably one of the best AD carries after Lucian. We see a lot of this guy. Echo Fox finishing up their bans targeted towards jungle with Lee and Elise. Looks like they're getting rid of a lot of the early priority and strong ganking champions. Clutch could also still pick Olaf if they really wanted a strong priority gank champion. Let's see what they end up taking. And LeBlanc ban and Ori ban. Looks like they're just targeting Phoenix and what they're good at, more so than banning for any of their champion. And they don't really need to ban for any of their champions because now, yeah, they have 3 triple flex. They have triple flex in Irelia, Yasuo, and Cassio. This is a really strong flex situation. And then I also want to kind of pause and talk about how Echo Fox has to think about things. So literally all 3 champions can go any of the 3 lanes, mid, top, or bottom. So it's really hard to pick a champion that's built to counter any of these. So let's talk about ways that Yorick can get fucked. When you pick Yorick here, right, and Yorick goes versus Irelia or Yasuo, it can be really bad for Yorick because Yorick's actually relying on hitting his skill shot in his Q, or not Q, in his E. And his W is also a cage that if people can dash out of, that becomes ineffective. So both his W and E are not great versus champions like Irelia and Yasuo, who can be very mobile. And Cassio also is a range champion, something that Yorick necessarily doesn't want to lane versus. So I actually think the Yorick pick here is a little bit questionable. I'm not sure what Yorick is trying to do here and who he's going to be fine in lane against. And also Clutch last picking Gragas to go well with Yasuo and also go well with Irelia. It's a really great pick. Even though they banned out Elise and Lee, they're able to land a pick, a jungler that can help both Yasuo and Irelia if they do end up going mid and be really good about the 2v2s. Overall, this has been a really solid draft from Clutch, and they're fully abusing the fact they have a lot of flex picks that they can abuse the enemy team with. Where Echo Fox, I think, could have done better with your top lane pick. This pick just feels very off for me. I'm not sure how Yorick's going to function in this comp, and I'm not even sure who Yorick's going to be good versus. When you're versus this much flex picks, the best thing you can do, honestly, is ban out the flex picks. And even if you don't ban out the flex picks, it just makes the draft really hard. As for Yorick itself, I'm not like, if you gave enemy team flex picks and you're in a situation where you can't win lane due to the amount of flex picks they have, then you at least need to build a comp that can beat their comp. And I think doing that would entitle Echo Fox building more of a team fight comp. So from top lane, maybe a solid tank that can work well with the rest of their team. Maybe Ornn, I think might be good. Ornn here. Also, Ornn's kind of problematic because they have Yasuo actually. Yeah, I mean, Ornn, maybe, I actually still do think they kind of have to take something like an Ornn, and they have to be more team fight oriented. Probably a team fight tank would be best for this team at this moment, because team fight tank that could engage. So yeah, actually Ornn would be the right answer, even with them having a Yasuo on the team. It's just a really difficult spot Echo Fox is in, and at this point you have to draft for the comp, and you can't draft to win the lane, or you can't draft to beat any of the 3 champions, because you could be facing any of those 3. Alright, without further ado, let's start now. Let's go into the actual game itself. Let's see how Clutch actually placed their flex picks. So they put Yasuo mid, Irelia bottom, and Cassio top. Interesting. I would have thought Irelia might have gone mid versus Syndra. That might have been better in my opinion, but maybe it's a comfort thing. Because for a Syndra, laning versus Irelia can be really difficult if you fall behind once. Same thing with Yasuo, and also because you have Gragas, I can see it making perfect sense why they might want to send Yasuo mid with the Gragas. And Huni playing his infamous Cassiopeia top. It's a very strong pick. I played versus it at MSI, and they kicked my brother in the ass. Panda going from red double golems into enemy scuttle into doing his blue. Lyra going red double scuttle into red double golems into enemy scuttle. Both junglers doing mirror pathing. It's just Jarvan is faster. What Demonte is doing there is he's checking enemy race to see if they've done it, but also charging up his Q on enemy race, something that Yasuo's do to make sure they can get the nado. It's really Piglet has been loving these off-meta picks, and I think anytime Clutch is able to flex these picks and take it, like they've been having such fun with it and making sure they do get it. Early games has been pretty stale for both teams. I'm surprised because Jarvan and Gragas are very strong gankers. And especially for Gragas, after he backed and got his Predator, I thought they might look to play a little bit more aggressive on a lane. Maybe mid lane, or maybe top lane. If top pushes out too much, I think bot is going to be impossible to gank for Clutch. But yeah, kind of surprised to see the game be so low action right now. It's Piglet's second childhood, getting to play Irelia. Both teams are actually pretty, yeah, but very uneventful early game. I'm so surprised. Because you have a Jarvan and a Gragas, both are so gank prone. Vulcan playing aggressive on Panda, trying to look for a kill. Forced he burned the flash to try to kind of all-star knockback Panda towards him, but Panda burning his flash in return and popping the plant and getting out. Okay, this first blue play, this is the first big play. Important things to note, Lyra and Panda both level 6, they both have their ultimates. And also, it's also kind of hard to invade onto a Syndra for the blue, because if at any time she feels like, yeah, fuck this shit, she can just pick up the blue and carry the blue away and take the blue that way. So a function of Syndra that's very hard to deal with at times when you're invading her. Piglet looks like he got a good engage onto Apollo, but Apollo burned flash and ran away. Didn't get anything else out of it. Huni also had a great pink ward up on top brush to check for Panda waiting there. Now let's see. Oh damn, Piglet all the way up in turret. Played way too aggressive and got taunted by Haku and forced to burn his flash. As a Irelia, you almost never walk up like that. As a melee champion, you just don't walk up like that versus a Galio near turret range. Just a dumb mistake from Piglet. Let's see what comes up and follows. What we're really looking for Clutch is a way for them to open up the game. They want to get fight from multiple angles. They want to have All-Star flanking. They want to have Gragas flanking. They really don't have a backline other than the Cassio, and Cassio is very, very self-sufficient, and she's not going to be part of any of the early game fights because she's going to be in top lane, laning. She could come down, but most of the time she is going to be top lane. So they really don't have a backline, and they are a very free-form fighting team. They just want to get the fight started and come in from multiple angles. While for Echo Fox, they definitely want a more standard team fight setup, whereas Syndra and Israel in the back, Galio and Jarvan up front, and engaging the fight with Jarvan, and then following up with Galio and Yorick split pushing top lane. That's their win condition. We're going to see Clutch win. Oh, that's such a good spell shield and a great exhaust. We're going to see Clutch win if the fights are started from Clutch and they are getting on top of the Syndra, they're getting on top of the Israel. Oh, we can actually slow that down. Let's watch it. And we're going to see, yeah, that's how we're going to see Echo Fox win if the fights are a little bit more standard. Huni opening up with his ult and going on solo. Lyra, great follow-up. Solo flashing out and then getting killed by Lyra's ult. And then everyone just walking away. And now Apollo teleported top and his wave is crashing into Piglet. It's just left in a really bad situation. Huni did a great job of waiting there for Solo, and he got a great engage on top of Solo, and Lyra was able to follow up and do the damage. Yeah, but yeah, let's really do focus on how the fights are going to start out, because that's just going to be the biggest thing, how this game is going to be won. I don't think Yorick split push is going to be a real win condition. I don't think Echo Fox really plays that win condition very well. Yorick split pushing and actually putting on the pressure and buying time for the Yorick to split push, and they are so much more of a team fight team, more so than a coordinated split push team or a 1-3-1 team. And they love playing around Phoenix, and Phoenix is currently their best player. So I think they're going to be way more focused around the 5v5 or the 4v4 with Israel and the Syndra backline. And it's going to be up to Clutch to get multiple angled engages. And I do think it's actually going to be pretty easy for Clutch to do that, because they have a... I was about to say, they have a... Oh man, this fight is actually so bad for Clutch. Because they have a Yasuo Gragas makes it. So you can just land the Gragas ult and Yasuo follow from anywhere, and that engage is always really good and really easy to do. Let's see how this one went. Demonte knows there are enemies on that side, but he checks in anyways. Jarvan gets the EQ, Demonte going the other side. getting an ult off of Phoenix, but Phoenix Zhonya's and Hakuo got his ult cancelled. Phoenix Zhonya's here was really good, and after Demonte ulted here, he doesn't have wind wall, so he took the brunt of damage from Phoenix and Panda, so he ended up dying. And then here, Phoenix got a great stun on Piglet, and Piglet flashed to try to catch up to Phoenix, but Hakuo was able to land a taunt on him after, so their kind of chases didn't work out that well, and they were never able to reach onto Phoenix and burst Phoenix, so this team fight turning out 1-0 win for Echo Fox. And Huni able to solo kill solo top lane. As we talked about, Cassio versus Yorick, not a good matchup for Yorick, and at that point in the game, I just feel like, or versus Clutch, you can't let them have all their flex pick. It just makes drafting impossible. And if you do draft in a way where they already did get their flex pick, forget about winning lane. You have to win the team fight, and you have to have the better team fight comp. That's just the only way you can really deal with it. The more I watch Echo Fox games, the more one thing that's clear is they don't know how to play around objectives that well, nor set up objectives or be very proactive about getting objectives. So yeah, like in this situation where the gold is kind of even, but Clutch already has 2 turrets on Echo Fox, and they have they have an Air Drake and an Earth Drake, where Echo Fox just has an Air Drake. Even though the game is still pretty even in terms of like the events that are occurring, Echo Fox doesn't get leads or win small fights and then translate them into objectives. They just usually translate them into small lane advantages or sometimes tempo advantages, but they're just not a good team in terms of setting up vision or playing for the objectives. Yeah, stuff like this. Remember what we talked about? If Clutch is able to get an engage from multiple angles, then Echo Fox is just going to get demolished in the fight, and we can really see that here. Echo Fox walked up mid, and then they're just walking back. They walked mid, and then they just walked back, so Huni caught them returning, going bottom, and they went in, and Piglet and Demonte coming in from the side, and really just able to get on top of entirety of Echo Fox. I'm not sure why they walked through River to come to mid and walk straight down, but they just did that, and they got punished for it. They're very uncoordinated and a dysfunctional team when it comes to stuff like this. Now losing bottom turret. Damn. For Echo Fox to win, they have to be the ones starting the fight, and they have to know exactly where all the members of Clutch are to make sure they don't get flanked and they don't allow them to get them from a different angle. So it's really hard for Echo Fox to actually pull it off. Yeah, whenever fights like this happen, like they go on Piglet, they're not able to kill Piglet, and then they're on the run. Solo teleporting in a spot where he just has to instantly flash out. It's not the worst thing because they don't have people collapsing, but Echo Fox has to burn a lot of tools there to just try to get the kill on Piglet, and nothing comes of it. I'd rather see them set up situations where Clutch has to walk into them, but because they're behind in tempo and also they're behind in individual strength, I don't think they're ever going to be in a position to, let's say, set up a Baron and force rest of Clutch to come into them. So they're always going to be the ones checking into Clutch, and that's going to allow Clutch to get multi-angle team fights. And I just don't see how Echo Fox can win in a game where they have to approach Clutch and still be very, very afraid of multi-angle team fights from any direction. One of those situations we talked about, the double angle fights, and yeah, looks like game's pretty over here, so we can check out the fight again. Alright, let's check out how this fight is starting. So it's actually Clutch, right? They have 0 vision on Baron, and they have to walk in, or they have to walk here and place the ward. So they're the ones that have to check in, and Echo Fox or Clutch has a lot of angles to flank them from. Demonte coming in from this angle is one thing. Maybe someone coming in from this angle is one thing. Someone coming in from above this angle is one thing. There's just a lot of angles that Echo Fox can get collapsed in from. And let's see what angles Clutch did go with. So Piglet hiding here. Piglet gets a stun on Hakuo. Let's see what happens afterwards. Piglet gets a stun on Haku, they try to go on Piglet, Piglet buys time with W, and then ulting that direction, Apollo dodges, but Haku is now kind of in a stuck position, gets ulted, or gets tornadoed by Yasuo, and Yasuo goes in on him, and Vulcan follows up, so Haku is already out of the fight and dead. Phoenix did a good job of trying to zone off Huni and Lyra here by himself, which was really good. He's able to chunk Lyra, and he's able to zone Huni off too, but Clutch is winning the fight really hard on this side. Remember what we talked about, Israel and Syndra need to be together, but they're very separate. Phoenix here, Apollo here, they're very separate and they're not able to protect each other. So on this side of the fight, Clutch is just going to be able to demolish it. Let's see. Yeah, Clutch kills Haku, then Clutch kills Panda, and Lyra lands the ult, forcing Phoenix there, and then they're just able to go on Phoenix and kill him. Yeah, it's just these kind of fights where Echo Fox has to check into Clutch, they don't really have a way they can win it, and they don't have a way they can win it, and Clutch is able to collapse and kill Echo Fox pretty easily. Whew, getting Ocean Drake, or getting Air Drake. Huni flubbing a ult there, them trying to go on Huni, but Huni cleansing out. Yeah. If it's a situation where a lot of Echo Fox's damage are range, and Syndra and Phoenix weren't even there, so I don't think it was very likely they were going to kill Huni either way. He still has Seraph, and he had flash up, so he just wasn't going to die. Echo Fox just being desperate at this point, but they have to be desperate. Game's realistically over unless Clutch makes a big mistake. Clutch were split pushing side lanes nicely, so Echo Fox trying to do what they can to try to get engaged, but it's just not working out for them. Yeah, it's gonna be. The game's realistically over. I can't think of a way Fox can really. Maybe they get EQ, Zarbin EQ on Yasuo and Cassiopeia at the same time, and then Phoenix lands his stun afterwards, and they're able to insta kill Yasuo before he wins walls, and then kill Cassiopeia before she ults. But it's just incredibly unlikely. They're just gonna go top, take the last inhibitor, and end the game. They're gonna get a fight here, but Lyra has flash ult. He could flash ult. If he's able to land his ultimate on Syndra or Israel, and Demonte is able to follow up in a good position where he's not gonna get insta-killed, the game's just over. I genuinely find it so hard for... Yeah, I want to root for Fox and tell you guys like there's a way they can win this game, but it's near impossible. Haku actually able to get that was actually a good jump on to the backline, but Phoenix had John, or not Phoenix, Huni had Jonya, so nice try, but not enough. The game ended when they lost that one fight at Baron, where Clutch was just able to clean all of them. And I also do think Echo Fox never had a real chance due to their vision control and how they play around objectives and how they get vision and tempo in the game being not refined enough to play a comp like this where they have so much multi-dimensional engagement.